Yo, what up? Live and direct flight from Santo Domingo to Nueva York. You already know. We staying in Manhattan, though, from JFK to Manhattan. We stay in Manhattan. We going uptown on this friendly fire joint episode. I should have put episode 6 up there. Well, I got my guy, All Ball 1977. What's up, my brother?
Yes, sir. We in the building, my brother. You already know, man.
Yeah,
I'm here,
man.
man.
We've been into this. You've been on Instagram going hard. You married basketball again on live IG. I'm sorry I wasn't there for the
Yes,
live
sir.
taping of it, but I saw the replay.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
what so what how did you get to that point where you got married to basketball? Like how did
well,
what made you fall in love with it?
well, probably since I can remember. I was born in '77, so you got to figure since I was able to watch sports. So of course,
Mm,
being a little kid, my pops had me and my brothers and everything: baseball, football, basketball. Well, not basketball at first, but baseball and football. And once I touched the basketball, it was a wrap. I ain't want to do nothing else. Like literally all day. That's all we did. So probably since I was between the probably ages of 7 and 10, when I was able to watch sports on TV with Magic and Bird and them dudes, it was a wrap. I fell in love with it and been like that ever since.
you play ball? I mean, like not
Yeah,
organized.
yeah, yeah. So I played junior high school. I went to the computer school down there on I'm from Harlem, but my school was on 70th and Columbus. So I played junior high school ball. Then I went to high school. Of course, I was a knucklehead in high school, so I was going through different high schools, and I wound up going to an alternative high school, University Heights, which the high school is on Bronx Community College campus.
Mm.
So I played high school ball there. My junior, my senior, I ain't gonna lie, I was killing too. I ain't gonna lie, I probably averaged like word. I probably averaged like 25. Word, I was alright. Like, and I never took it serious. So we used to practice, and the Bronx Community College coaches used to see a player. So them and uh City College offered me a partial scholarship, but I didn't take it. I went to SUNY Purchase for a year, and I ain't even play ball, man. I just knucklehead. Yeah, man, dumb. Being young, thinking I know what's right, things like that. But yeah, so I actually played a little bit. Never was good enough to make the NBA and then crazy like that. But like I said, love the game, love the game. And ever since I can remember, like I said, I was the kid between the age of 13 and 16, walking the rucker with the older dudes. So like my history, we go back to that, to where
Mhm.
like I've seen dudes like God bless the dead Lee Green, Red Autry, who played for Syracuse. Remember, I was a little kid seeing these dudes at Rutgers, so I go that far back. Master Rob and these type dudes. So my love for the game is crazy. It's crazy.
And that's from the bottom, from the street level to the even not the AAUs. Back then it wasn't AAU in the 90s and even the 80s. So
Nah.
anytime this basketball circle, like I heard, like shout out to Ryan when we get together, we're gonna
Yeah,
link
yeah,
up back
yeah.
on.
Yes, sir.
His brother Rob, they all would just and head. Oh my God, when we Sonia's crib was like a different level of education for me in basketball because I thought I knew I could argue. I mean, I couldn't. I was not nice. I thought I was Iverson. I was more like a bum Rick
Right.
Fox, half his height. But just watching the game, I remember just I think I commented towards you. Like, Raw broke my game down like playing NBA 2K. Like, oh, I see what you're doing. You're just holding the ball the entire for the 24-second shot clock, and just the way he broke it down, I'm like, okay. Then I realized he played ball, and it's a different level of respect from on the court, the experience to just the fan.
Yeah.
You got to respect both sides. Like Kenya Moore got a really good interview on Colin Cowherd where he's breaking that down. Like, yo, I'm not knocking analytics, but they got to be a marriage of the two. Everyone studies
Right.
statistics, but you got to play ball. So when you guys start mentioning names, sometimes I go, I don't know who that is, but I know to respect them. Like even
Yeah.
Jamal Mashburn he's from Uptown. I knew he
Yeah.
was
Long
good.
smash.
Monster Mash. I knew he was good, but the way you guys talk about him is like, no. He has a post. He's
Yeah.
unstoppable. I'm like, okay. And you watch him, and then I learn. But what? So you stopped there? It wasn't anything to go to after that? Like I said, the basketball circuit is different. Before AAU, you got gauchos, you
Well,
got a whole bunch of stuff.
yeah. Well, back then when I was playing, like you said, you had gauchos, you had Boys Harbor. Back then, remember PAL was big. You had Minnesink. So remember, we was young. Running, you know what's crazy? It might have been AAU, but it wasn't called that. I don't
Mm.
remember what it was called because I remember being young. Like I started with Reese Pit Bulls. Anybody from Harlem that was young, they know Reese Pit Bulls. He was a guy that had his own team, but we went everywhere. We went upstate. We went everywhere to play ball. I remember playing in Lincoln Projects. Right, make you laugh. We was young. The 3-pointer was so far they made them 4-pointers.
Damn.
That's how far the 3-pointer was in Lincoln Project over there on Fifth Avenue. So it was an AAU, but it wasn't called that. And that's how a lot of us from Harlem, majority of people in Harlem, my age, that's how we all got to know each other from playing basketball. Like literally it was life. Like you'll wake up 8, 9 in the morning and you could be fresh to death with Tim's on. Next thing you know, you shooting around BSing. Next thing you know, you playing 21. Next thing you know, you playing a hard 4-on-4 with construction Tim's on in jeans. Talking smack, going crazy. Next you know, it's 8, 9 o'clock at night. You been doing that all day. And we literally did that for their whole lives.
Mm. And that became like a fraternity. Like my man,
Yeah.
my man Overby, Corn. Shout out to Corn. He's from uptown. You guys gotta know each other if you ran together. And
I
he's
know about face.
yeah. I'll send you his link. But again, it's every story is the same. They know this guy from over here, and it's special because, like you said, you look back and you go, "Damn, we should have done something with that." So
Yeah.
you look back at the kids now. Anytime, I'm pretty sure now you see kids who are good, and you stop them and talk to them because it's like you need to take advantage of this. You might not make it to the NBA, but you could be a coach. You can get money from this. You can make a
Yo,
livelihood from this.
look, you know what's crazy? I was telling a young kid this the other day, and I was like, yo, back then we didn't have no knowledge of what we could be. Remember, in my era, we admired the hustling dudes. I know it's cliche and that's what everybody say, but it's the honest truth.
It's
So it's
hard.
like, it's like the people that you're around every day that you see, if they not putting you on game, you don't know no better. But it's like I tell these young dudes now with the internet and with people like us that's willing to give information, because information is free. Yo, if you don't make it to the NBA, you have overseas. If you can't make it overseas, you stay in that world and you network. You can be a coach. Um, I remember you could go to referee school. This is if you really love the game and want to really be around the game. You can be a commentator. You can be a sportscaster. So it's that world has so many levels that it's ridiculous. Like I never thought I love the game so much to where imagine you could be a referee right now, refereeing the NBA championship. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's so I tell these young dudes, if you don't make it, don't give up. It's so many avenues that it's nonstop. It's forever. It's forever.
So recently, if we want to get into the latest NBA gossip,
Man, man, you
this,
see.
you've been on, and it's funny because we were on the same page about this guy. Like Ben Simmons, he's now to me underrated, and I know he hasn't gotten better. Um, and he's kind of the same player he was since college, since his freshman year. He came from Australia, wherever he's from, and but we had the same sentiment. Shout out to Kill. Philly guys do not like him. They hate the fact that he's on there. And I'm like, yo, he's being mismanaged. Like, you got to understand, he's not just there by luck. This is not just a 6'10" dude. No, he's a defensive specialist. That means he has a skill set that nobody else, barely anyone else has in the world. He's there for a reason. He should be more Draymond Green than he is attempting to be Steph Curry or anyone else. He should never shoot the ball that much. But why do you feel like he's being underrated or he's being,
Okay,
thrown under the bus?
let me let me comment on something you said though. When people say he hasn't gotten better, right? This is what I'll throw back. Tell me a player within the last 3 to 5 years that has gotten better. Kevin Durant got better, or he's been the same player for the past how many years? Just being honest. Like Russell Westbrook, has he gotten any better, or does he make the same mental mistakes he's been making since he's been in the league? James Harden, has he gotten better? So I feel people, because if you really think about it, people only really want to talk about LeBron. Don't nobody really want to talk about nobody else on TV. So now people use the Ben Simmons thing, and it's like, oh snap. I don't want to curse. Oh snap, we got something else besides, okay, oh shit. Remember, it's like something dropping in your lap. It's like, oh shit, we got something else to talk about besides LeBron. And I think people is taking it, like I argue with my guys all day, and remember, it's all our opinions, it's all out of fun and love. But I tell them, you can't call somebody a bum. That's why I put up on my page the other day, is he better than Lonzo Ball? If he better than Lonzo Ball, how is he a bum? But some people are saying Lonzo is better, and I'm telling people that's why I call myself all ball. I don't get into the personal. I don't care about what you do off the court. I care about what you do on the court. And at the end of the day, if you got a guy that's 6'10", that wants to pass the ball, that's strong as an ox, can play defense, can finish at the rim strong, who cares if he can't shoot? Everybody can't shoot in the NBA. So, you know, I feel people is going hard at him because it's trending. It's the fun thing to do. And people using that one layup that he gave up. And I told my man, I said, yo, it only happened one time though. Think about it. That's the only thing people say. If you really think about it.
The pushback for that is that kind of embodies who he is for anyone who's critiquing him like that. And they're saying, yo, you ain't getting better. And you not shooting the layup is like, that's the easiest shot possible. This is your biggest flaw. You know what I mean? And it's like, you're not even willing to do that. So this is the issue. Again, we'll talk about Kyrie in a second. It's the same thing with him. What you're saying, that is the thing that people hone in on, is like your biggest flaw, because even LeBron gets that. How can we shit on you? Because that's going to be the page 6 news. That's the gossip part of basketball. And really, you got to be a spectacular diva type of athlete in any other sport to get this kind of attention. Like Odell Beckham is the only one I could think of in football that gets this kind of attention. A lot of them do, but it's always from Tom Brady. But this is a special guy. So I think with Ben, they do hone in too much on his flaws. But even now, business-wise, I think Rich Paul is the agent, right? The Clutch Sports or whatever.
Yeah. Them dudes is crazy. Go ahead, though. That's a whole nother story. Go ahead, though.
It is, but it's part of the problem. At some point, he was also the agent of Anthony Davis. That means Rich Paul sat down with the Hornets and told them, hey, look, he doesn't want to be here. He's going to sit out. We might as well say that you're sitting him down, because then we won't lose the trade leverage, and that's the business side of things. So there's a lot to the Ben Simmons thing that I think we can point to, but the way, even when I propose, like, I think they should trade. If the Nets are going to make a trade for him, I doubt it. It would be for Kyrie. I remember you saying you'd rather it be James Harden.
Now, real quick before we move forward, this is what people have to realize with the Ben Simmons situation. Now, if he's stinking, now remember, for me, he never stunk it up. He had a bad series. He has to be accountable for that. So I'm not being biased. I'm not on his side. No, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve no type of blame. So I'm definitely not saying that. But all of us play basketball before. You don't have to have played professional to understand what I'm about to say. How many times have you played with somebody on the court, or you played for a coach, and if you didn't get along with him and didn't like him, your body language showed it, and on the court you didn't want to do anything? So can we try to understand it may be deeper than basketball? So if an all-star great player only shoots one time in the fourth quarter in 4, 5, 6 games, you don't think it's something behind that? So once again, I'm not taking away from the fact that he shouldn't have. He was wrong for that. He was wrong for not taking shots. He should have dunked the ball or took that layup. So I'm not I'm just saying sometimes we gotta look deeper into things. Doc Rivers, and I've been saying this for a while. He's a very like I said, I'm a black man. I root for black men, but this ain't got nothing to do with that. Right is right, wrong is wrong, facts is facts. To me, he's not a good coach. He's never been a good coach. He's not a player's coach. To me, that narrative, they gotta stop that. Remember when Rondo first got there, him and Rondo ain't get along. Remember, they said Rondo was young. He wouldn't be able to lead the team of veterans. He couldn't shoot. Remember, we heard all this before. He had a problem with Chris Paul in LA with Blake Griffin and them. He threw Paul George under the bus. And so we also have to look at that stuff. And then also,
he also threw Ben Simmons under the bus.
Right. That's my point. And then look what Ben Simmons is going through with his brother, so-called teammate, Joel Embiid.
What do you think is that? Because I never heard Embiid. Maybe I didn't hear that part. I didn't hear Embiid critique him that hard though.
Well, it was riffs maybe a year or two ago with him and Embiid. I heard. And you gotta remember, the media is crazy. They flip-flop so much. Like I used to be a big Colin Cowherd guy, right? Because to me, he brought something different to the table. But now he's with the same circus on YouTube. They might have took it down a couple years ago. I remember it was big news about should Philly keep either Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid. People was going so hard to get rid of Joel Embiid. Remember, Ben Simmons is the next LeBron. He younger, he this, he that. Look, within 2 years now, how it just flipped. So with Ben, remember, we all human beings. We flesh. We get sensitive. We you know what I'm saying? If the organization ain't supporting you, if some of your players ain't supporting you, if your coach is throwing you under the bus, what else he supposed to do?
How you supposed to go home? That's home. How you supposed to feel comfortable?
Forget home.
You're right.
Forget home. How you supposed to be? Listen, we all, like I said, you're not a ball player if you never had an attitude on the court with a player or a coach. And you was on the court and your mind frame was going, if they pass me the ball, I'm not shooting. God bless the dead. Kobe did it in the playoffs.
Against Phoenix.
It may be wrong to try to prove that point. So, like I said, I'm not dismissing what Ben Simmons did, but I think the flack he's getting, and even from just real quick, even from Charles Barkley and Shaq. Charles Barkley killing them. Barkley, and I'm fans of these dudes. Like, to me, Inside NBA is the best sports show ever.
Ever. I think everyone agrees with that.
But Charles Barkley critiquing them, and I'm saying to myself, like, yo, Barkley, you was the guy that said you gained weight because you didn't want a certain team to draft you. Shaq, I love Shaq. Shaq is in my top 5. Like, my top 5 of all time is weird. I get flack for it all the time. I love Shaq.
Me too.
But don't make a comment and go, yo, we don't want to see you post pictures on Instagram of your cars and girls and this and that. Philly ain't about that. Shaq, he was a rapper.
Right.
What are you talking about?
he's forgetting. Shaq, you're forgetting Shaq.
Yeah, So that's why I'm like, yo, it's trendy. It's the thing to just jump on this kid like that. But I don't think he deserved all the flack he's getting. People was calling him bum. Some of my guys on live say he's a liability. So now, if Ben Simmons played horrible this year, I gotta eat crow. I gotta agree with dudes.
So
but
all right, because I think we're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, we understand the criticism, but the other side to it is Doc Rivers is pretty much way more heralded as a coach because he won than Ben Simmons is as a player. So why? Because he won the ring. He didn't win the ring without Thibodeau since then. So Ben deserves a chance to at least redeem himself. Because again, we talked about his super skill, which is defense. And all he has to do is tweak his shot. That's all he has to do. And no, he hasn't shown it, but bro, my thing was we don't have to transition yet, but the new environment with the Nets. We're on the same page. Him being around Doc Rivers is not helping. Embiid is a self-motivated, he's a self-starter, whatever it is. He got better. He's better at shooting, whatever the case may be. Yes, he's able to do that. But for whatever reason, your job as a head coach, general manager, is way more important than anybody's in the league in sports. What's his flaw? How do we put him in a better position? Should we take the ball out of his hands? That's your job. You know what I mean?
And I just had an argument with my guy too, because they were trying to kill him. And I was saying that we all know when you're a young player, like I said, LeBron is rare. So when LeBron came out of high school, we already knew the league was gonna be his. So it's but so much you could tell him to do with him. Let's all be honest. With Ben Simmons, whatever the coach tell you got to do on the court, whatever position they tell you got to play, that's what you got to do, whether you like it or not. Let's all be realistic. If they going, remember, Ben is not a point guard. We need to all realize that he's not a point guard.
Right, especially in a half court set. Full court, he can do that.
Now listen, Gilbert Arenas, I put on my post. Gilbert Arenas, and I've been saying this for a minute. Like I said, people, you can go on my page. That's why I don't erase nothing. Gilbert even said it. He was like, yo, they not using them right. He like, yo, how you not using them like Giannis? Until you can stop me, I'm going crazy. I'm 6'10", I'm strong. Can't nobody guard me. My only problem with Ben is he don't have to fix the shot. Just take the shot. Who cares if you make it?
Right. Well, I think that's
Westbrook don't never make no shots.
Right, and he's still shooting them. That's a different.
Just gotta take it.
Yeah.
That's it. You just gotta. You ain't gotta never shoot no three, but in that free throw area, you wide open. Who cares if you brick it, if you airball it? Just take the shot.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So even
Russell going to LA, it's really. I mean, I like Vogel as a coach because he was good on the Pacers as well, but LeBron is going to change everything for him. You have a guy there. He's not really vocal. He's not the rah-rah alpha that everybody, story time alpha guy that Michael Jordan was and Kobe was. That's not LeBron. But he is helping these guys. And you have more of a chance to win. He's a computer geek up there in his head where he knows all the stats. He's going to tell Westbrook and as nice as he possibly can, don't shoot from there anymore. I need you over there because he's a computer. So I think the same thing with Ben Simmons. He goes to the Nets or even Golden State. We're talking about not just basketball players that are talent that's around them. It's the talent upstairs. I think that's really we're on the same page about that. They're not putting him in the right position. And the Nets, Steve Nash and the organization, Sean Marks, I love this guy for coming out and even asking and calling Kevin Durant about checking his man, checking the temperature. We gave you a 4-year deal. All right, is your boy in line? Because there's another superstar available and we're willing to trade him. You want to get into that?
Let's go. Let's do it. We can transition right into that.
So I was saying trade Kyrie for Ben. I remember you saying, "Nah, I'd rather trade Harden." Why would you trade Harden for Ben Simmons?
Now remember, I was saying that a while ago before it was even popular.
Yeah.
Now, you made a great point about Kyrie. Now, let me just say this real quick before I get into that. Kyrie is making it hard for me to not want to trade him right now. You know why? Because now they say he ain't gonna take the vaccine, so he might not even play. You understand? Yo, these dudes sometimes they make it difficult for you to root for them. So, but this is why I say James Harden. I think at times with basketball teams you can have too much. The Nets don't need all that. I think
we agree so far. Keep going.
I think Kyrie and Kevin Durant complement each other better than KD and James Harden. I think Kyrie and KD have better chemistry on the court, and they don't mind deferring to each other. I don't think James Harden can do that for a whole season. Yeah, of course he started out good and all that, but I think James Harden is a guy that needs his own team. I don't think James Harden cares about winning. That's just my honest opinion. So I think benefit better with Kyrie and Kevin Durant.
To stack on top of your point with Harden, Chris Bosh came out publicly on Bill Simmons' podcast and he did say they targeted Harden in the championship when the Heat played them because they knew they couldn't stop Westbrook. They couldn't stop Durant back then. they said, yo, we knew we could target Harden because I guess he was more finesse. So that on top of his playoff performances have not been there. But I think he plays well with superstars. Like the fact that he did get to the championship with OKC that young. To me, I saw him. I'm like, this is Mano 2.0, and he's actually better than that. On Houston, Chris Paul got there. They were a Chris Paul injury away from really.
Hold on. I don't mean to control. I don't know if he's better than Manu, my dude. Like we could disagree, agree to disagree. We could talk about that another time. I don't know if he's better than Manu.
We can, and I more than likely might agree with you because Manu got more heart.
But hold on, just real quick. Hold on. See, this is why I love basketball. You see how we could just it could be nonstop. But hold on, because I don't want to get off topic. See, this is what people get caught up in. Yeah, he got average 40. But Manu didn't have to average 40. See, I had an argument with my young dudes. They told me Dominique Wilkins is better than Scotty. You know how insane that is? Scottie Pippen.
You find that insane. You feel this up?
Now, let me tell you why. Because Scottie Pippen, how can I say? If LeBron is a 10, Scottie Pippen is an 8.5. LeBron is a much better Scottie Pippen.
Especially for this era.
Pippen is picking you up 94 feet.
Full court.
He can get his own shot. Remember, it didn't require him to go out and give you 40. So I think people get misconstrued with the numbers. Once again, Carmelo, I think, is the second most with the numbers. Yeah. We don't consider him the greatest anything. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar name don't even come, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar name don't even come up in the barbershops when it comes to the greatest ever if we talk about numbers.
Right.
So people gotta miss me with the Harden, it be tricky because you gotta move along with the times, and I get it. So we like to razzle dazzle. Oh, he gave him 60, but it's like, but you don't get to that other level, and you don't show the sacrifice to get to that other level. Man who sacrificed and said, I'm gonna come off the bench. He didn't have to do that.
What's lemon pepper Lou Williams? My man Joe. We had an argument recently about he thought Lou Williams is way better than Manu Ginobili. I'm like, you can't say that. This guy led his country to a gold medal. You can't against NBA talent 20 years ago. You cannot say that. Manu Ginobili is clutch. Never had to worry about anything about him. The Spurs are drafting you, keeping you around for a reason. They like that mentality. I'm with you with that. I can see it's obvious for someone to say it would come to them faster to say, oh yeah, James Harden is better. But once you dissect it, he doesn't play defense ever. Harden played better defense, and he was willing to play team ball, like you said. With that being said, that's the other thing. I actually think because Harden likes to, he really does defer. He plays dope. He's a better passer than Kyrie. I found that they played in a better flow when Harden was. Once they traded for Harden, that team it looked different. It felt different. And for me, Kyrie's a ball stopper. Durant's a ball stopper. They might like each other, and you can tell that. But Harden, for me, makes that offense flow. And what you started with is what we totally agree on. They already have enough offense. That's why the Ben Simmons trade made sense to me. Because like we said, if he just shot, look at Blake Griffin. I didn't know he could shoot it like he was trying to shoot. But on the Nets, all he has to do is take that comfortable open three-pointer, that one-on-one three-pointer.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons can slide right in and be Blake Griffin times 100 because he's playing defense and shooting that ball. But you still like Kyrie being traded. Harden. You want Harden gone.
Yeah.
Who would be the point guard then?
You said who won't be the point guard?
If it's Kyrie, Ben Simmons, and Durant, who's the point guard?
Remember, that means Kyrie and Ben can share it.
Okay.
See the Ben Simmons thing, quick fast, because we're gonna move forward from that. But people fail to realize he lost a shooter. People, and me and you gonna do a lot of these because it's a lot of guys in the league that don't get props. Danny Green is very underrated. I've watched Danny Green. Danny Green was the same size in high school. Remember, I think Danny Green is from Long Island. No, he's from New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Remember my Rice High School. I know you heard of Rice. Mo Hicks, the coach, that's from my block. That's family. So we was going. Remember, Mo Hicks coach Kimber Walker. This one they was calling Kimber Walker the Princess of Munda.
Uptown.
Like, that's what I'm saying, my dude. I go back. So we was going to these games. Yo, Danny Green used to kill Rice every game. What I'm trying to say is Ben Simmons lost another scorer and another shooter. Right? So they put the ball in Seth Curry's hands. Now, I'm not saying Seth Curry is not good, but he turned into a two guard. Nah, you the point guard. You get people open. Now, if we get you the open shot, yeah, knock it down. But to me, they put the ball in his hands and gave him too much to do.
Yeah.
So all that plays that's a psychological game with Ben Simmons also. Like, yo, what's really going on? This me and Joel Embiid team. So it's to me, it's a lot of layers. And remember, I don't have no
inside.
This ain't no inside. This is just me loving the game and watching the game. And it's like they handed the reins over to Seth Curry. Like, really think about it.
So how would that work on the Nets then? If he was there for Harden, it's Harden, Kyrie, and Durant. He wouldn't mind handing over the reins.
Nah, you got to remember, because he know. Listen,
that ain't Steph Curry.
Come on, if you go into a team with Kevin Durant and Kyrie or Kevin Durant Harden, you already know what it is. You'll be a fool not to know that. That's a respect thing. So just like if it's Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons team and players come over there, y'all know what it is. This me and him. We the big dogs. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people can act like that don't happen, but come on, man. Like, that happens. So I just think Ben Simmons is in a bad predicament, and Doc Rivers don't know how to manage that predicament, and I think it's going to get worse and worse. But just going back to Kyrie, because like I said, we could keep, you make some good points though.
Yeah.
No, but you make some good points about keeping James Harden. You definitely make some good. It's kind of like a toss-up with James Harden and Kyrie. It's almost like you can go with James Harden because he's not as injury prone and he's going to be there. With Kyrie, and I like Kyrie, I think he don't get as much props, but he's starting to be a little difficult. He's starting to get a little out of control. No. Hold on, hear me out.
Starting?
No, hear me out. See, I'm big on, if you got a job and the boss is not complaining, why should I complain? If the Brooklyn Nets ain't coming out complaining about him missing games here and there, I'm not going to complain about that.
Good point.
But now when what you're doing is affecting the team in the season, remember, he got hurt. So if he get injured, you can't put that on him. But now season's about to start. It's less than a month, and you're still being difficult. It's hard to root for you, man. It just is. It's no disrespect. They say Andrew Wiggins don't want to get the vaccination. I hope he don't, so Golden State could trade him. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Okay, I mean, that vaccine talk is a big deal out there. You're clearly pro.
Yeah. I don't even want to get into that. Yeah, I don't want to get into that. That's some other. Yeah, people go nuts when you start talking about that crazy stuff.
We shouldn't, but we do that off the mic. But
the Kyrie thing. Yeah, I think
that is a great point. It doesn't matter what anybody says. We just saw The Last Dance last year. Nobody cared about what Dennis Rodman's antics were. What happened when Dennis Rodman said, "I want a vacation"? Who did they bring into the office? It was Phil Jackson, and he had who with him? Michael Jordan. I didn't hear any other name.
What Mike told him?
He's crazy.
Leave him alone. Let him go do what he got to do.
No. Mike said if he goes, he ain't coming back. And Michael Jordan's the one that got him back from the room in Carmel.
Right.
But the point is,
no, hold on, but real quick. Remember, at one time Mike did say you got to let Dennis be Dennis.
Right.
Remember, and he told Dennis, if it's a Friday and we got a game on a Tuesday, be back Sunday, Monday, man. But he said you got to let Dennis be Dennis. And that's a great point that you brought that up. as long as you do your job on the court, of course you can't be a stone cold murderer, killer, and be doing something illegal off the court.
Well, if you ask the Patriots, you probably could because they had Aaron Hernandez. That's a different story.
Yeah. You know,
but that is the point. That's why you get that treatment. Kyrie, they gave him that much rope because, listen, we do think you're special, bro. But now it's little by little, your contract. We're trying to sign an extension with you. We already got one for your boy. Durant is here, so they're tied to Durant. Now they're telling Durant, listen, we know that's your man, but is he committed? Are you sure he's committed? Because we got this trade. I thought it was a G check by Sean Marks. I loved it. Even if nothing happens, we agree. Yeah, they can win with Kyrie. Of course they can, but that's not what we're saying. You're the manager. Yo, bro, your man is a little loose. What is this?
He is. Yeah.
And that's why you hit on the nose. Anybody who work for even if you work with each other right now, we have to work with each other to create this podcast, this episode. We can't go crazy. You can't just leave the room right now without saying anything. That's Kyrie.
Right. It'd be going for 20 minutes and you come back like ain't nothing wrong. Like, okay, so yeah, and you sitting there like, what? Are you kidding me? So I definitely get what you're saying.
And you hit it on the nose, bro, because if your boss isn't really having a problem with you until then, because if you're producing, you're gonna act like you're supposed to be the diva. That's whatever the engine is to fuel you. That's what Michael Jordan said. Whatever makes you'll keep that going until your boss goes, yo, check this out. We gotta rein that in. All right. And especially when there's respect there. Sean Marks is a general manager. I think you would agree. You gotta respect that dude. Kept them competitive before the big three, and now they're a championship contender. You gotta respect that, man. And I guess the final point with this, I think the Ben Simmons trade is also intriguing for a Sean Marks because I don't see Durant, Kyrie, and Harden, even if you sign all four for 4 years, I don't see them making it 4 years.
They're not staying together. No, of course not.
Well, I think injuries could break that up. So Ben Simmons is that, like you put it correctly. Ben Simmons is a tough young dude. You can see this guy playing another 15 years, barring injury. Kyrie was never looked at that way. Durant, he just came off the Achilles injury. James Harden, we don't know. He got injured last year. So Ben Simmons, a young pup. You add that onto the roster. Steve Nash is a shooter. Kevin Durant's a 7-foot shooter. Why wouldn't he be able to tweak this guy and help this guy out? So, yeah, it's a bunch of stuff that comes with that makes Ben Simmons trade intriguing.
Right. Now, real quick before we go, I'm gonna give you a quick story, right? And don't nobody know this. And all these is facts. I can't say names and all that, but these is facts.
Okay.
Oh, but also real quick, I think James Harden get the ring, he's leaving. Remember, James Harden deserves a team by himself. I think if James Harden get a ring with the Nets, he's going to be the one to go if they don't break that up. That's my honest opinion.
So right now he's not signing an extension. He's gonna wait out the year.
I think he would sign an extension. Yeah, but like you said, yeah, he might wait out the year. But listen,
leverage. Go ahead.
Right? Kevin Durant and Kyrie was coming to the Knicks, right? No. Let me explain something to you. I know somebody that knows somebody in Kyrie family. Like, listen, these is facts.
It's uptown love.
Now listen.
Mitchell's
his pops is from the Bronx.
Yeah,
all right. Mitchell. Between the lines. Listen, read between the lines.
Come on.
And then shout out to my guys. Can't say their names because I don't get out like that. This is when Kyrie was still in Boston. Seeing one of my dudes. Like, yo, what's going on, man? Yeah. He said, you coming to New York, right? I said, word? Look. He said, yeah. I said, that's what I'm talking about. When we say New York, we ain't talking about Brooklyn. We talking about the Knicks. Let's be realistic. I'm like, word? He like, yeah. Now check it. I'm on Broadway. 135th Street, Broadway. Anybody that know 135th Street, Broadway, it's a certain person that's from that area. Major dude. I'm over there with my guys. Over there, so all my Spanish people. I'm like, yo, what's good? How you been, blah, blah, blah? They say, your man Kevin Durant coming to the Knicks, right? I said, what? How you know that? They said, true, trust me. Remember, Kevin Durant is signed to Roc Nation Sports, right?
Was.
All right, was. Well, back then he was down with them. All right, then. So read between the lines.
Mm-hmm.
People connected. They know what's going on. So now we got these two about to come to the Knicks. You know what James Dolan told Kevin Durant? Exactly.
What did he
I
tell
don't know
Kevin?
if this is verbatim. I can't sign you to a max deal because I don't know how your Achilles is going to heal. You know how insane that is? You know what happened? We going across the bridge. Because remember, Kevin Durant was sitting out a whole year. Remember, the Nets signed him and they knew the whole year he ain't gonna play. James Dolan told Kevin Durant, we don't know the Kevin Durant we're gonna get after you having this Achilles injury and you're not gonna play for a year. They went over to Brooklyn.
That was a friendly fireball for you from All Ball 1977. We got exclusive info over here. I don't have the I'm gonna have to put the gunshots when I edit this thing. That's crazy.
Yeah, so
that's crazy. But can I be real? And you might think I'm crazy. I didn't want Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving at all. I'm a Knicks fan.
No, let me explain something to you. New York, we about the lights, camera, action. We about superstars, my guy. You know the electricity in that building would have been? See, you got to remember, we New Yorkers. The electricity. You see the electricity room in the garden? Imagine if that was KD and Kevin and Kyrie and KD, my dude. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And we got the right team, the right management now. That's the other thing. Leon
Worldwide
Rose.
Wrestling. If you notice, ever since, excuse me for cutting you off because I get excited. If you notice, ever since
All Ball, baby.
Right, if you notice, ever since Kevin Durant and Kyrie with the Brooklyn, James Dolan stepped out the way. You don't hear about him no more. Is that a coincidence? You heard it first here in the whole ball. So hopefully if this come out in a documentary 50 years from now, is it a coincidence that James Dolan, you don't hear nothing about him playing rock and roll bands. You don't hear nothing about him getting in the way of the management. We don't hear nothing no more. Now it's all of a sudden, quote unquote, they let the management do their job.
Right. I wasn't a fan of theirs being together because I didn't like the crybaby stuff with them personally. Of course, you're right. That's why we got Melo. I didn't like the Melo trade. They traded the entire team for him. Horrible. I didn't like that he hated on Jeremy Lin. That was crazy to me.
Yeah, I argue about that all the time too.
Yeah, all these guys, James Dolan, Jerry Jones, these guys, they want to be Steinbrenner. Yo, get out of the way. The worst one is the guy from the DC owner now. Damn, I forgot Dan Snyder. These guys are the worst. So James Dolan, Mark Cuban. That's why I was excited. I'm a Mets fan. I was excited about them getting Steve Cohen. This guy, Steve Cohen, is a shark from Wall Street. I love it. He's a criminal. He's a gangster geek. That's what I call him, the gangster geek. You want a guy like that who studies. The first thing he spoke about was OPS when it came to stats. That's like the most. You're combining. You're not just talking about batting average. You're talking about on base percentage and slugging, meaning you're doubling the ball. You're doing more at the plate. You're getting it has to do more with scoring, and it's more of an intense stat. So that's cool, and he's focusing on that. But he did that on Wall Street, and he does what it takes out there. So I want that guy as my owner. I like Steinbrenner. He did foul shit. That's why he got suspended for the whole 1980s. 90s came around. So James Dolan stepping back. We've been asking for that. I don't know why he kept latching on to Isaiah Thomas. We couldn't understand that.
Ridiculous, man.
Yeah, so for him to do that, they also said the same thing about with the LeBron meeting. They were just like, "Yo, what is this guy? This guy's crazy."
You understand what I'm saying? Like he's, man. Sometimes you your own enemy. Man, you get in your own way, and it's like, people need to realize that you don't have to be the sole reason something is successful. And even if you are, you don't have to step out in the front and brag and bloat about it. You turn people off. You make people not even want to come over here. But you see, it's a new day. And let me give you another little jewel. Now these is facts. Dame Lillard want to come to New York, right?
Right. They're saying that.
No. I'm telling you that.
Yeah.
New York. He wouldn't mind going to Philly. They say he liked playing with Joel Embiid. He would like to play with Joel. But I'm telling you where he wants to go. This is, like I said, inside stuff. He wants to come to New York, but he don't want to blow it up. He ain't like that.
Right.
Because right now he could pull a Anthony Davis.
Right.
I'm not gonna say Ben Simmons. He could pull an Anthony Davis. I don't want to go nowhere but New York.
Right.
Now let me tell New York Knicks fans, we have to be patient. That's our problem. Look at the process with Golden State. They was patient with their players. You build through the draft, you make the right picks, and then you go for the gusto. In 2 years, we can probably get, now hear me out, because we got the money. We can get Zion and Dame Lillard at the same time.
Yep.
And I just said, I put up a little thing on YouTube. Zion can make history. He could be the first player to not sign that rookie extension. Think about it. He's not happy in New York. Think about that kid. Think about his face with that smile in Times Square on the billboard in New York. You're not getting that in New Orleans. Remember, the reports was during the season his family wasn't happy. Now they just put out another report maybe 2 days ago that him and the GM Griffin is beefing.
And that GM, I never even liked him either. He was on Cleveland before.
Horrible. But
garbage.
But remember, he wants to come to New York. If the Knicks can play their cards right, you can get Zion without trading anybody. And with Dame Lillard, if Dame Lillard, I think he's gonna play this year. To me, I think this year will give him props to where when he want to leave, they ain't gonna throw him under the bus. Because he can say, yo, I played for a year. Chauncey Billups, yo, we didn't make it far. You know I want to win. Let me get up out of here. To me, that'll help him out if he stayed a year. Now is what would the Knicks want to give up? Me? You can take anybody. I don't care who it is.
I'm with you. And I think that's the thing about the Knicks. We can do all the same mistakes that I don't even mind making the same mistakes we've been making the last 20 years besides losing, but at least we won't be drowning in the salary cap. We won't be making the same mistakes with the owner staying in no, you don't come into the office. Isaiah Thomas is not there meddling, doing whatever it is.
Yeah.
They're going about business the right way.
Yeah.
And so we're on the same page about that. I don't mind Lillard because even if you trade RJ Barrett, I mean, Lillard is late 20s, early 30s now. He's like 30, 31 maybe.
Yeah. They still got 5 to 7 years to play.
Right. But with Julius Randle there, at least you'll have somebody that can shoot the open shot. We don't have that right now.
Yeah, we need
not consistent.
Nah, we need to shoot. That's why I was hoping JJ Redick would have came to us for a year.
Me too.
You know, but he can still, somebody just told me, you know, players do that little game where they remember Ray Allen, remember when Ray Allen retired and then came out of retirement to go to Miami. I'm not saying that JJ Redick that's the same situation. Of course, I'm not saying that, but he can still come out of retirement and play. So then you made a great point. We definitely need more shooting, but I think the Knicks we're in the right direction. We just have to stay patient. I think this year, if Kemba's healthy, depending on who we run into in the first round, we should be able to win. But if not, as long as we're competitive, if it goes 6-7 games and we lose and it's competitive, to me, that's a plus.
Absolutely.
Go to the playoffs and get smoked and get swept, or it go 5 games. No, if it could go 6-7 games and we play a good team and it's competitive, hey man, we moving in the right direction. Because if I'm not mistaken, it might be 2 more years. It's another big class with the free agency.
Is it next year? Is at the end of this year?
Yeah, after.
Okay.
So you get what I'm saying? So
yeah,
should make the right moves. Players will see. Okay, they stay on the right, and the players want to come over here. And a sign of that is Derrick Rose.
Yes.
I thought, to me perfectly, he was going to fit with the Lakers because at the time they needed a point guard. Yo, he re-signed, so it goes to show you we moving in the right direction.
Right.
Because
Tibbs needs. I mean, that he is who he is. He's not really creative on offense, but we can't. At this point in time, I understand with his Minnesota tenure, we critique him about that, but I've always loved him. Yeah. What he's doing with the Knicks, I mean, this got him. He's top 5 coach in the league, right? Or I'm far off with that.
No, he has to be for what he's done. See, people forget about the grit and the grime. It's not always about the flash. And remember, we New Yorkers, we about the grit and the grime.
Yep.
Even though we want superstars, remember our superstars get dirty. Patrick Ewing was swinging on motherfuckers. John Starks to choke you. You get what I'm saying? But and these was our stars. So what Thibodeau has done with the Knicks this year, and we don't have a great team, but he gets everything out of them. See, to me, that's a good coach.
Definitely.
When
I love it.
You get the best out of your players. We ain't got no knockdown 3-point shooters. We got some good shooters. Well, the season that just passed, but we ain't got no official crazy big man.
Right.
We ain't got a top 5 point guard.
No. And I mean, they're serviceable. What Derrick Rose is doing, Kemba Walker come in there. I still think you probably need like a guy who's not going to get injured and be durable. But you mentioned Zion. I don't know if he fits with Randall.
Man,
I don't know.
let me tell you something. Sometimes in life, you get it and worry about it later. If we could get that young man, because you got to remember, it's also a business. See, that's what we got to tend to realize as well. If I'm gonna pay $400 for a bleeder seat, I want to see some alley-oops. I want to imagine Zion on a fast break doing 360 in the Garden.
Crazy.
Man, we might run on the court like it's Rucker. New York, remember, we missed that. We watch every city get everything, and for us, it's like, yo, so I think we in the right direction. I think they just got to keep it up. They just got to keep it up, but we just got to be patient.
I think we're patient. I think we get, with the Mets, we had something going on where Javi Baez was doing the boo thing or whatever, and he was booing the crowd. But I felt like, yo, you know what, guys? I'm a Mets dude my whole life, Mets fan my whole life. What leg do we have to stand on to be booing any players? We're not the Yankees. The Yankees can tell the players, yo, we got a bar set here. Right. We win one championship every 5 years. You can't do that in Citi Field. So I think we are patient, and we were patient with bullshit. And now I think the smart fans, I consider you a smart fan. I consider myself a smart fan. We see the deal. We can be patient with this, even if we don't win in the next 10 years. It's just the fact that we're always going to be in position for this. That is the smartest play you can make.
There we go.
What do you think about our rookies, and even with Quickly and then Grimes, who are kind of like same position?
I like Quickly a lot. Yo, I like Quickly. I'm being honest. We need Quickly. Like, they got to figure out a way to keep him. Toppin. See, I like him. He just got to get better as a basketball player. See, that's why I be the only one. I always tell my guys, I'm the one that give the OGs the props. Some dudes, if you know you don't have the super duper LeBron talent, the KD and all that, you got to study the game. These dudes don't study the game. Kwame Brown said something a while ago that was super dope to me. When Kobe Bryant had 80 points, right? He said, people laughed at him, but I got what he said. This is when analytics make sense. So who you think was setting all the picks? Some players might not even know how to set a pick. You get what I'm saying? So I think Toppin got to find his niche. Don't get caught up in it's a 3-point shooting league, so now you want to try to get your 3-point game down pat. Learn how to be a defensive stopper. Learn how to rebound better. Learn how to get offensive rebounds. Learn how to be that hustle guy. You know what I'm saying? I think if he can do that, he gonna be all right. But sometimes you can't get caught up in trying to do what everybody else is doing or think was, you know what I'm saying? Like Marcus Smart. Look how Marcus Smart transitioned his game. And now he got the bag.
You read my mind, because I was going the other way with it, and you just corrected the fuck out of me. Because I'm thinking, yeah, all it needs is a jump shot, Toppin. And you said, nah, listen, there's other things you have to work on too. The rebound and the defense. Thibodeau will be the first one to tell everybody, no, he ain't going nowhere. That guy does everything that I need. Exactly. He's not going anywhere. Yeah, he can't shoot, but I've worked with this before. What were your thoughts on Grimes? I know it was just the summer camp thing, summer games, but he was killing it, and they won the whole summer league, right? Am I bugging?
I don't know. I gotta check because I started watching it a little bit towards the end.
Yeah.
Grimes is good. I don't really get caught up in that summer joint. I'm being honest, because to me, that's a little dangerous. Because remember, you playing against your peers. It's a whole different ball game, man, in that league. Like, remember now, you seen LeBron and KD and them dudes face up. Remember that summer league is like AAU to me. So you're supposed to kill. You playing with your peers. He good though. But like I said, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough because the Knicks now, we in a position to really do something. So it's like, if you're not doing what you did in the summer league on the court here, how you gonna get some playing time? So he got
He earned that. He earned that. Us to say, okay, it might be him and Quickly. He might play for Quickly position.
I don't think he taking Quickly position though.
Okay.
I don't think so. Remember, man, Quickly proved himself in the game. Like, and that's what I try to tell people about Kyrie. Like, with certain players, until somebody dethrones them, you got to give them their props. Quickly stepped up and hit some big shots in the playoffs. He played great in the season. So we got to see what Grimes is going to do during the game and see how that's going to work out. I root for him. I root for all these dudes, but he's decent. He's decent. Like, this draft class was tough. But a lot of these guys is going to really see what it is when they playing against the big dogs.
Right.
Like some type dudes, they good, but the kid from Houston is the one that stood out to me.
The rookie?
Green? Is it Jalen Green?
Right.
Out of all the rookies, he's the one that stepped out that I like more than anybody. All them other dudes is good, but like I said, we gotta see. We gotta see.
We have them. I was gonna say the Knicks are maybe a player away to be getting to the second round. If you get Lillard, depending on who you lose, I can see them making it to the second round.
Well, depending on who we match up with, we can make the second. Listen, just check out the. I know we go a little past over an hour. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So check it. Our starting five ain't bad. You got Kemba at the 1, Fournier at the 2, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. Off the bench, we got Quickly, we got Derrick Rose, we got Norris Noel. We not bad. If we could get another shooter like this year, depending on who we play, we can make the second round. If we don't run into a big dog like a Milwaukee or Brooklyn, even Philly, I think we got a better shot this year against Atlanta than we had last year. Chicago, we run to Chicago, we might be in trouble.
I like their front court. Oh, I'm sorry, their back court with who's that? Lonzo.
And then DeRozan.
DeRozan, right? That was the addition. Well, that's two. DeRozan and Lonzo Ball, along with Zach.
Hold on. Remember, Zach LaVine is a free agent next year. I like him in the.
What do you feel about his jump? Like that leap? That last year was a major confirmation of what he's been doing. I mean, obviously they didn't make the playoffs, so he's not going to be the top 5 2 guard. Well, he's a top 5 2 guard at this point, I would think.
Let me tell you something. I like him in the blue and orange. I tell you that much.
Yeah.
I think him. It shows when you work when you work hard. That means in the off season he wasn't in the clubs. He's in the gym. Yo, you could tell he stepped his game up crazy.
Yeah,
crazy. So
he earned that all-star spot.
Yeah, he earned that, man. Yeah, so it just goes to show you, man. You work on your game, you work hard, you study the game, and you can become great. And that's all I want these dudes to understand. Even a younger generation. Like, I don't knock nobody, but yo, man, it's basketball is more than just playing. It's yo, man, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's knowing to pick your spots. It's knowing. That's why John Stockton was so great. Yo, some guys like Tom Brady, he misses a lot of big throws, but crunch time, he know where to put that ball at. John Stockton knew where to drop that ball off at. It's a lot. Dudes don't know about that.
And that's not an accident. That's time and time again.
He know
you'll see them.
I'm gonna bounce the ball right here. It's gonna bounce right there. And Jeff Horner said, "Gonna grab right there because I know that's the spot." You crazy?
And that's ill.
If you see him walk down the street, you think he a cashier at the supermarket,
right?
so you get what I'm saying. So that be my point. When it's like, yo, it's an art. It's yo, man. It's an art form to this game, and a lot of dudes don't understand that. Like the Michael Jordan thing with the LeBron thing. You know, that could be a whole nother story. But it's like.
You got Jordan number one still.
Of course. It's to me. Let me tell you something. To me, it's not even close.
Oh wow.
Let me tell you something about LeBron.
Okay.
Great player. You'll be an idiot to say he's not great. Like, come on, I'm not that crazy. But when the playing field is level, he loses. Let me tell you, we were just on live arguing last night. And this is what I got killed for it. But I stand by what I say. People always go, yo, he take bums to the finals. All right. But he loses with them bums. He only win when he got a super team. But when Kevin Durant met him with his super team, he got smoked. That like I said, because remember, my dude, we could be on here till 1 a.m. We both gotta go to work. That's why certain things to talk about it gets. So that's just my only thing.
We agree.
When the playing field is level with LeBron,
we agree. We agree.
He gonna give you 40. I'm not denying that. But the Red beat that boy 4-1 with no problem.
We agree. From when that first championship appearance against the Spurs, that was the knock on LeBron. He can't beat that zone. They knew that. That was like inside NBA stuff that's not going to be spoken about. These are a lot of Skip Bayless takes that he gets pounded for because he does say a lot of crazy shit, but he also makes a lot of good points. He's not up there by accident.
Sometimes he makes some good points. Sometimes he does.
Mark Cuban smoked him because he spoke about the basketball strategy, how they hounded LeBron. No, this is zone defense. We had him at this side of the court because he shoots this much and he's not going to pass him. He broke it down. And the same way he played against the Spurs, the first championship, was totally different from the regular season when he yammed it on Tim Duncan. He had that poster in his locker. And Tim Duncan is one of these silent killers. He doesn't like all that. You start talking tough to him, he don't say nothing. Like you can see the Kevin Garnett interviews.
I love it.
Yep. That's the guy you want on your team. And I just didn't like the deer in the headlights thing for me. When the pressure was on, all the lights were on, and now, it's all on you. And when he's not expected to win, he performs differently. There's no expectations. He's great. But now when all the lights were on him, that's why he can't play the villain. When you can't play the villain, you can't be the bad guy. That's still in him, no matter what. And Jordan does have that. Mentally, we could never say we ever saw Michael Jordan dog it. Ever. There was no story about that. The story was the thing was with Jordan. Don't talk to him. You better not piss him off.
Let me explain something to you. They feared Michael Jordan. Nobody fears nobody no more. Like there's no fear with the game. Like, and I like let me tell you it's comical to me. When Dame Lillard, they said he was gonna get traded, right? And people was preaching for him to go to the Lakers. Remember, Lakers tried to get Kawhi Leonard when they had LeBron and Anthony Davis. How are you comfortable with that? I'm being honest. If I'm a superstar, all right, if I can team up with one guy, okay, cool. I'm not teaming up with 3-4 guys. I'm not calling Carmelo Anthony on the phone thinking that shit is mad cool. Yo, my dude, I need you. What are you talking about? Go out and play with what you got if you the GOAT. Michael Jordan let the GMs do their job.
Yeah, but this guy JP on Twitter, shout out to him. He's dope because there's certain things that you guys say that I'm like, I would have never noticed that because I don't know shit about ball then. Like I just sit back and just, okay, I'm gonna listen to the entire thing now. It's time for me to be a student. And he said that, like, all right, well, LeBron did play the GM, but there's a knock on that because you're not reliable now. So that's what actually, when Kyrie kind of started becoming the villain in people's eyes, but I was on his side. Yo, LeBron is leaving next year. That he got the word about that, and he said, I'm not gonna stay. You better trade me now because I got less leverage next year. So that affects the whole team. You playing GM allows you to surround yourself with better players, but the knock on that also is, yo, you're gonna be here next year? Because why should I sign here?
Dog,
Why should I try harder to be here?
you gotta remember, he's the golden child, and I don't knock it. Like I said, yo, I'm big on, listen, man. If you can do what you can do it. That's like having a job. If a person can get away with stealing time, hey, no, do what you. I don't knock nobody.
I might edit this out for your sake.
Right? So my point is, I'm not knocking LeBron for having his power, but it doesn't mean I have to condone it or like it. We know he the golden child. They let him do whatever he want to do. Dog, who trades a whole team in the middle of the season? Like only kids that don't get their way do stuff like that. Like, so at the end of the day, I'm just saying he's a great player. He's not even in my top 10 right now.
Damn.
I can't listen. I can't, and that's not being a hater.
That's kind of harsh. Who you? So can we go with your 10? What's your top 10?
Let me think, because it's Kareem, it's Magic, it's Larry, it's Mike, it's Kobe, it's Shaq. That's 6. Bill Russell.
Hakeem.
That's 8. Tim Duncan is 9. And Allen Iverson.
You got Iverson up there above LeBron?
Yeah. And then, like in that second batch, you can get the LeBrons and all that type shit. Yeah. Because remember, you still got Oscar Robertson, you still got Wilt Chamberlain. Like, yeah.
That's kind of hard to argue.
Let me tell you something. If Kevin Durant would have won that 3rd ring and 3-peated and smoked LeBron again and got Finals MVP, he'd have been in that top 10. Listen what I just said. If he would have 3-peat and beat the best player in the league and smoked them 3 years in a row, listen, man, that's my top 10.
I didn't like Kevin Durant's attitude in OKC. I thought he kind of like should have mushed Russell Westbrook, had a fight with him. You know, I think he came into his own, but the same way LeBron went to Miami and learned something with, again, being around an organization. He should have never left Miami. That's his biggest issue. But I got LeBron second best all time. I just think I've never seen anything like. Matter of fact, he might be. I think Shaq is up there. We didn't say Shaq in your top 10. I think you were missing Shaq.
Yeah, Shaq is in my top 5. So if I'm missing Shaq, then all right, we get Iverson out of there.
Yeah,
that's what. So look, hold on. So hold on. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, Kobe, Tim Duncan, Shaq. See, that's why my mind be.
Yeah, no, Hakeem, Magic, Bird, Duncan.
I think I said Duncan.
In your top 5?
Is Duncan in my top? Nah, Duncan ain't in my top 5. He in my top. He's in my, because my top 5 is Jordan, Kareem,
Shaq.
Jordan, Kareem, Shaq, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson. That's my top 5.
My thing with Magic and Bird compared to LeBron, the competitive side, mentality side, Magic went through the tragic Johnson thing and he came back from it. LeBron went through his embarrassing thing and came back from it. Even with all the flaws that we mentioned, deer in the headlights. I don't like that he learned the post-up game that late in his career, and you're 6'9", 280 pounds, whatever you were bragging about. He's fake tough to me also. All the flopping, I don't like any of that. And the shooting, like you shoot way too much. When he was in Miami, he had his 2 best seasons. He didn't shoot the 3-pointers. He shot 2 or 3 3-pointers, 52% from the field, 40% damn near from 3-pointers. Why do you think? Because you were selective. You played smarter, and you played your game, your size. But that being said, man, 19 years, he played double the amount of time Bird and Magic did. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but all right, but what does that mean though? He played 19 years, so
He took off the court seriously. Also, there was a different mentality with LeBron when he got embarrassed by Dallas. He changed and he realized it. That game 6 against Boston, he dropped 45 and 15. Finally, we saw he was reading books. He's trying to get comfortable. That just like Jordan had to shift, Jordan had to calm the hell down and pass the ball. LeBron had to turn up. Like that game 6 against the Spurs, he had to turn up, and he didn't have that before. Like we said, he was a deer in the headlights, and all of a sudden, all right, this is what we've been waiting for.
Let me ask you a question, and I get this all the time. There's no defense played no more, man. Like we gotta like really be honest. Like there's literally no, like everybody's averaging 30.
A lot more possessions.
Like if you can really guard somebody today, and I'm not meaning mug them, but if you can really put a forearm in their back, if you can really hand check a little bit, if you can really get somebody's space, like you literally can't touch nobody. Like it's no way in the world. Like back in them days, and Ryan is big on this. Ryan be like, yo, too, but come on, the guys I was playing defense they worked in they packed bags. I'm like, yeah, but still, their presence was there.
Yeah.
They was tough. They got up in you. You ever played a video game and somebody played that computer D on you and you get aggravated? Imagine if you can do that today. Curry, listen, people really think Curry's going to give Gary Payton 40?
Right, no, not in that era.
No, that's so what I'm saying is you telling me LeBron is going to give Scottie Pippen 40 every night?
No. That's
my point. You think Draymond Green is going to do anything with Dennis Rodman? So that's all I'm saying. I'm saying
especially in that time. Like Rodman, these guys were built for. These were the best of their time.
Right, but
it's hard comparing eras like that.
But it's not. But no, I'm not comparing eras. I'm saying, what if you could actually guard somebody? Like in today's game, a guy like Tony Allen. Look at Pat Beverly. It's only maybe 2-3 dudes that really play defense.
That they allow to do that. Yeah.
Right? So I'm not saying you can't allow nobody to hurt nobody, but like literally, you see they got the new rules in the game now because the game is like a video game. You see now they got the rules where that sweep where they throw it out. Remember, Curry and Chris Paul is good for their dribble, and if you behind them, they'll stop and let you bump into them. That's out. So that's what I'm saying. They starting to see that the game is being so watered down. It's no good.
But do you knock? So we're gonna take away points for LeBron because he is.
No,
he still is dominating this era though. That's not because those same players, Gary Payton couldn't, and Rodman might not be able to play in this era because of that.
Are you kidding? Listen, he changed the game without scoring. Who you know right now? That's why I say with him and Draymond Green, it's not even close. Dennis Rodman was guarding Shaq. Not saying Shaq wouldn't have gave him 40, but he was strong enough and smart enough to where the organization and the team told him, go guard the best big man in the game. Yo, man, that man, if you see, that man said, I studied the game so much that when the ball was in the air, I knew where it was going. That can work anywhere.
I think with this many more possessions and the zone defense and the way they're able to play offense, it takes away from Rodman. And that's not to say that Draymond could play back then, because he would have to have been a small forward. He might have been null and void back. The same way a lot of players couldn't do what they did back then when Phil Jackson compared Steph Curry to my man Chris Jackson.
Right.
Muhammad Abdul-Rauf on Denver. He wasn't lying. He's like, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
So all Phil Jackson was saying was, yo, none of these players, ain't nothing new about them but the rules. So I agree. It's just that I think it's hard for us to determine who would be great in each era because we got to start dissecting what are the interchangeable skills. Like no matter what era you in, this guy's going to be great because of this. Jordan, his mid-range is what separates. That's why Kawhi Leonard learned the mid-range. Kobe would dominate any era because they're Larry Bird, mid-range. You got that. I don't even know why people think that's gone. No, Kawhi won a chip like that. So I think things like that have to be paid more attention to. And defensively, that's harder to tell because they don't even allow a lot of the defenders from back in the day to play now. There's no big men. This guy Goldberg, when it's time for the playoffs, null and void, because now they're playing old school, like the new school style.
Like,
done.
Yeah, like let me say something. Dennis Rodman says, so like, see, what we have to realize is, and that's why I say a lot of these dudes study the game. That's why a lot of them, I think, can play in any era. And saying like God LeBron, like I said, not saying he gonna stop him. Of course not. That's a freak of nature. No, but when a guy can dissect somebody's game and goes, I know where he likes the ball at. I know where he likes to drive at. So I do this, I do that. Yo, that's what keeps a player in the league. That's why a lot of dudes don't last too long. Because like I said, you gotta know the game. You gotta know, okay, I know that's what he like to do. I'm gonna cut that off. So, to me, that's a big difference with a lot of new young guys and a lot of the older guys. And it's almost like the rap game. It's like the same thing where, they don't want to respect, who was here before you. And the older dudes just saying, well, y'all don't know no better. No, but some dudes, a lot of the older dudes couldn't play in this era. I can agree with that. I think any of the guys now could play in that back in the days era because the skill set is just crazy.
Right.
So I'm not saying Kyrie won't average 20 something, but he ain't gonna be razzle dazzle and doing none of that.
He wouldn't be allowed to do that. Yeah. You see in the playoffs, they try to say Steph's the same player. No, he's not. Nah. They allow more physicality and they take him out of his game.
I'm a Steph guy, right? And anybody tell you, my God, that's why I gotta get you like some of my old heads. They tell you I was on Steph Curry and Davidson. He's horrible in the playoffs. He's horrible in the playoffs.
I wouldn't say horrible. I don't want to say horrible.
But in big games, he don't show up.
He's not Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Because they're bodying him. It's harder. It's just.
There you go.
Yeah, you're just being realistic. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
You just answer my question. You see what happens when you're able to be a little bit physical? Like when you're able to be just a little bit physical, it changes the dynamic. Like if you was able to do like that to LeBron, look, a little bit. If you was able to just a little bit without the ref calling. Remember, you can get that close and don't even touch the player. They're calling the foul.
Yeah.
We seen it.
Right.
Where if a person go like that, and when they show the replay, look, it didn't even come close to the face.
Right. And replays is another thing. There were no replays.
Imagine you could get up in somebody's chest a little bit. Just a little bit. So that's all I'm saying. But it can go both ways.
Yeah, because people do that. I think that even with that comparison, if we're playing the time machine game, if you drop LeBron off into the 90s, he's gonna have to deal with those rules. You're not crossing over like that. You're not gonna be able to travel like that. There's a lot of things you won't be able to get away with, and you have to get accustomed to that in real time. You know what I mean? So that's the what do you call it? The time machine game that people just don't. Yeah. It would have to be a real breakdown. We could do that for like a half, maybe even beforehand, and then break that down to a video. That would be so dope.
Yeah.
But you talked about untouchables and the if the Knicks don't play the big dogs in the playoffs, who are the big dogs to you? Are the Lakers and the Nets still favorites? Healthy?
Yeah, healthy. Yeah. If the Lakers and the Nets can stay healthy all year, it got to be. And like I said, I'm not. See, I deal with reality. LeBron right now, him and KD is still up for grabs for best in the league. I still think KD, but LeBron is still right there. So all people, you can tell I'm not no hater. Like I give it up. That dude is great. If LeBron, but for the Lakers to win, Anthony Davis has to have an MVP season.
Yeah. Healthy.
I think the Lakers. No, I don't care if he's healthy. He has to have an MVP season. He has to average like 30. He has to. I think the Lakers is constructed wrong though.